What's up, music fans of the internet? I am Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, the only reviews with two different views. In this episode, we're talking about the new album by Hayes Carll called Lovers and Leavers, and asking the question, is it too sad and slow? So let's get into it. Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
A little background on Hayes Carll. He is a Texas-based country folk singer-songwriter. He was recently nominated for a Grammy for his song Chances Are. Lovers and Leavers is his fifth album, his first since 2011's K-Mag Yo-Yo and Other American Stories. And in the press release, Hayes Carll says there are very few hoots and almost no hollers on this new album. So let's talk about what it sounds like. Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, I think Lovers and Leavers sounds like Hayes Carll's most grown-up album yet, or Townes Van Zandt singing the Lovesick blues.
Yeah. I think it sounds like Hank Williams and Tom Waits trying to out-ballad one another.
Nice.
Let's talk about some highlights. Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, two tracks stood out to me, one being Sake of the Song, the haunting organ, pedal steel and acoustic guitars, piano, light galloping percussion, and a discussion of the oft-overlooked downsides to the music biz and the drive to overcome them, i.e. Sake of the Song. One line I really liked, less is less until more is more. Some very insightful lyrics here. The other track I really liked is The Love That We Need. I really like the acoustic guitar and piano interaction here. I really dug the lively piano lead in the middle. This one overall had a brighter tone, I thought, despite the dark lyrical subject matter, and that kind of contrast made it a standout for me.
Right on. I liked two different tracks. I liked Leave You Alone. I thought it had this happy-go-lucky sort of sway and this really cool like clap and snap beat that made it really interesting. It's about a guy who accidentally ends up somewhere he never meant to stay. There's some really good lines in here. Billy built cars that never went nowhere. Only thing working was the dial radio. He'd sit on the front seat just listening to baseball, dreaming about places that he'll never go. And then the other one was Jealous Moon. This time a little more keyboard, guitar, some barely there percussion. Some other good lines here as well. She watches through the seasons, hoping without reason that someday someone will call her home. I just thought it was a really interesting perspective to personify the moon as this jealous character who really just wants to be down on earth in the action. Something I never would have thought of to write a song about. So really cool songwriting exercise in that one.
Yeah, I really like the light percussion, especially the hand claps, finger snaps you mentioned. Very light percussion throughout, I would say.
Yeah, not a whole lot of drums, but a lot of piano, which I thought was pretty unique for Hayes as well, which I thought fit the album really well.
Absolutely, yeah, kind of just added to that character, raw, emotive.
All right, let's move on to Lowlights. Derek, was there anything you thought didn't work?
Kevin, one low light for me was Love Don't Let Me Down. It was just a little too slow, and I guess you could say it let me down.
For me, not all of these tracks were unmistakably Hayes Carll. He has such a unique trademark sound, and this album is kind of a departure from that. And I think he's sort of finding his footing in this new territory, but I don't think he's there just yet. I think he will get there, but I think it's going to take a little time. Let's move on to the overall rating. And the big question is Lovers and Leavers too sad and slow? Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, to answer the big question, I don't think it's necessarily too sad, but maybe too darkly realistic. But everything else aside, absolutely too slow. One thing I liked was the departure from his old sound, the stripped down nature of it. Really allowed songs to breathe, I thought, and kind of grow organically, and allowed for some really interesting musical moments. Strong songwriting was definitely there, albeit he kind of left his trademark sarcasm for seriousness here. But I think it is really interesting to hear this kind of more wizened narrative coming from Hayes Carll. So I'm giving this one a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, we'll agree and disagree in different parts. Is it too sad and slow? I don't think so. I think that was the point of this album, and he's really challenging himself and listeners as well. It's ambitious, and I admire that. I think he's the songwriter's songwriter, especially on this album. He's normally a bit more clever and dry. Now he's more introspective and vulnerable. And I think the music is appropriately stripped back. There's fewer instruments, there's more space. Normally, Hayes Carll is packing every song full of lyrics, and here he lets the music breathe and have its own moment, which is really nice. This new territory, I think, will take some getting used to, but I think Hayes' songwriting chops make it worth the effort. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. And with Derek's 3, that's a combined 7 out of 10 for Hayes Carll's new album, Lovers and Leavers. Please let us know what you think about it. We'd love to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to us here at Last Week's Album. I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.